Once upon a time in the land of Persia ruled a great Shah. He was rich in wealth and richer in heart, and in his court there was a sage and well-read vizier. Both the Shah and the vizier were well content, except for one thing. They had no sons to continue their lines. At last, as prophecy had it, after 9 months and 9 days, they became blessed with sons. The Shah named his Manzur, for the boy was enchanting to look at. The vizier named his Nazer, with the hope he will be the steward of the crown prince. When the boys were of school age, they were sent to study under a strict schoolmaster. Prince Manzur excelled in all the learned disciplines and grew more charming by day. And Nazer took great notice of the prince. He would steal a glance every chance he got. His heart would stir up when the prince talked. He would study the loose strands of the prince's hair. He would leave school wishing to see him the next day. Luckily, Prince Manzur loved him in return and would smile with delight to his looks. Their notes were absent from the lessons at hand. The two ignored all that was around. Alas, the cruel fate slithered in the night, and the schoolmaster discovered what went on behind his back. The schoolmaster arrived before the vizier and whispered the tale of Nazer and the prince. Dreading the news reaching the Shah, he pondered a way to quench their love. When the sun rose and Nazer woke up, he was summoned to see his father at once. Though sad to say farewell to his son, he arranged for Nazer to leave the kingdom. Along with a group of merchants, he rode, leaving a trail of teardrops on the road. Prince Manzur looked around that day, but found his Nazer nowhere. Afraid his love has fallen so ill that he left school to help him get healed. Once learned of Nazer's absence, he took a vow of silence. Merchants reached a caravanserai and stopped to rest with a glass of chai. Away from the crowd sat Nazer and penned a letter full of despair. He lamented the fate that kept them apart and beseeched a messenger to deliver prompt. The prince spent days quiet in thoughts. He let his food go to rot. The Shah called on healers across to find a cure for his only son. No herbs or potions worked for him until a letter arrived, and hence the prince opened the letter at once and wept when read his lover's remarks. The Shah was thrilled to hear him talk and gave the messenger a hefty reward. Manzur asked His Grace, the Shah, to rejoice in the form of a royal hunt. Caught in the traps of men, pheasants, foxes, and hens, from dawn till sundown they hunt. Retired for a feast under the red sun, kebabs and wines until they couldn't breathe. Heavy were their stomachs, heavier their sleeps. Prince Manzur took his chance that night, got on his horse and left on the sly. Saddle fastened and mounted the crown prince, galloped like bolts into the desert steed. Before long whereabouts all went pitch dark. Wretched and weary, he prayed to the Yazdan, "O attainer of all the creations, protect and lead me to the one I love." So he who hears cries of all mankind lit up his way and guided him with sun. Merchants came upon a field evergreen. There they saw a pond that brightly gleamed, gazed into the water as clear as day, saw no one like himself, Nazer, in bay. suddenly formed a man's picture before him, shuddered with fear, and turned to the man, limp. To their surprise, they saw their beloved then, began racing towards each ear-to-ear grin. Shah embraced his son back to his keep, for he was so happy his heir had lived. Married Nazer to Manzur, thanks to Yazdan, they all lived blissfully inside the kingdom.